I am more concerned about how could you have an individual that comes from your party who basically was acknowledged to be incompetent to stand trial, incompetent to continue in office, and yet and still you do not want to revisit the policies that he had put in place in this country and actually want to keep them in place, go about them without revisiting them and say that, okay, maybe this policy was wrong. This policy was wrong. Maybe we need to revisit this policy. Maybe we don't need to go about this in this manner. Let's save face for party. Let's agree with Donald Trump on some issues, and let's make the country right. Let's go back for an instance to go back to when President Biden was actually found to be unfit to stand trial.
There are new details from the special counsel's report on President Joe Biden's handling of classified documents. The Justice Department announced it will not pursue criminal charges, but the report was very controversial because it did bring up several questions, including the president's mental capacity, specifically his memory. Fox 5's Lizette Nunez is here with the details and the president's response. He was not happy, Lizette.
No, he was not. Definitely firing back yesterday. Well, the report concluded there wasn't enough evidence to...
Hold on. So you mean to tell me that after you found him not having the ability to stand trial due to his mental capacity, that he actually wanted to go ahead and stand trial himself, that he wanted to go forward with the whole trial process when Donald Trump has already been going through the same thing? And I don't know if by this time, I believe Donald Trump had been convicted. Can't remember. I can't go that far back, right? However, I don't think he really wanted to do that.
Charge Biden with a crime. However, the report did put a spotlight on the president's age, memory, and competency at a time when Biden is looking to convince voters he can run the country for another 4 years.
I know what the hell I'm doing. I've been president. I put this country back on its feet. I don't need his recommendation.
In a fiery exchange with reporters, President Biden responding to the release of the special counsel's report for his handling of classified documents after his time as vice president and senator.
It looked like those documents are in a garage. Where was those documents at? I mean, at least Trump had documents in what it was called the Winter White House, but y'all didn't give him no credit for at least putting it in the Winter White House. This looked like they was in Joe Biden's garage, bro.
Part of the reason special counsel Robert Hur declined to bring charges against the president was due to Biden's memory. Hur noting in the report, quote, "It would be difficult to convince a jury that they should convict him by then a former president well into his 80s of a serious felony that requires a mental state of willfulness." The report called the 81-year-old president's memory hazy, faulty, and poor. Biden was especially angered by the report's reference of his recollection of key events, like the death of his son, Beau.
There's even reference that I don't remember when my son died. How in the hell dare he raise that? Frankly, when I was asked the question, I thought to myself, it wasn't any of their damn business.
In an earlier statement, Biden appeared to give a reason why he may have been distracted, noting that the same day as he was being interviewed by the special counsel, Israel had just been attacked, and he was in the middle of handling an international crisis. While defending himself and discussing the Israel-Hamas war, Biden mistakenly referenced Egypt's leader, the president of Mexico. Republican lawmakers reacting to the report.
It's unnerving that the world can see this. It's not good for America.
While the case will not have legal implications, it could have political implications as Biden attempts to convince Americans that he is fit for a second term.
The other reason that he's angry is that it is the worst time imaginable to have a report that calls into question his capacity to remember things, even major events in his life.
Well, we know that.
So we got that in. Here's the key issue. Like I said, with you having a president that was shown to be incompetent to stand trial and continuously shown to be incompetent to actually run for office? Why don't you take the opportunity to look back at some of the policies and try to figure out how you can go about them and do better with regards to that? Because while the Democratic Party, they have big ideas, they lack the feasibility to actually bring those policies into a form that really ultimately works for the country. And it goes further into the whole idea of what Trump's goes about. It's about who's actually running the country during the Biden administration. Tiny Cross-H.U.G on the Trumped Up Live Show. I won't hold you long here. It's just consideration. Like, who is running the Democratic Party? We need to find out who is really running the Democratic Party. Somebody had to be running the party when President Joe Biden was in office. It's a good day to be a soldier.